Greg Kelley is on the line. He, of course, is a Liberal MNA, official opposition critic for relations with English-speaking Quebecers. Greg, thanks for taking the time. I guess I'll begin with what I said when I first heard the story today and then was following along. Every single opposition leader in Quebec City has come out against this. What have we heard from the government? Anything?
First and foremost, Go Habs Go, Aaron. I think we can confidently say that
Excellent.
Here, anywhere in Quebec. The only reaction that I saw in the media so far from anyone in the CAQ was the Culture Minister, Mathieu Lacombe, who said, Go Habs Go. But I didn't hear Robert say anything, so I'm not too sure. François Legault has used Go Habs Go in the past. He has said Go Felix Go for Felix, the tennis player. So he's not been afraid to use the expression in the past. And of course, when everyone, I woke up and I saw the cover of the Gazette this morning, I just said, really, we have such a short period of time here in enjoy our Montreal Canadiens. We're thankful that they're in the playoffs. The vibes of the city and of the province are high. People are feeling good. And you wake up and you see this and you just say, you sigh and you say there are so many other things we could be talking about, focusing in on, but we're not. We're talking about Go Habs Go, and it's just a bit ridiculous across the board.
It is, and I think, as I said, it's, I guess it's, in a way, at least good news that all the opposition parties, including the PQ, and I think it's necessary to point that out, have all come out and said this is basically stupid. You didn't get to hear this. I'm going to play it for you now. Éric Girard, who is, of course, beyond being the finance minister, the minister responsible for relations with Anglos, was asked, have you not heard this, Greg?
No, I've not heard it yet.
So he's asked today about this. I want you to hear the best dodge to a question that I've heard in a long, long time. The question was fairly direct. What do you think about this whole Go Habs Go thing, right? Now, this is Éric Girard. We know he's a hockey fan to begin with, right? Listen to what he said.
I have no expertise on what should be on bus signs, but just to be clear, I'm really proud of what we're seeing during the playoff. There's a lot of players from Quebec that are doing well. Monsieur Montembeault, Mike Matheson, who comes from the West Island, is a fantastic player, and I've noticed that the Capitals also have Pierre-Luc Dubois, Anthony Duvillier, so I'm really happy for le hockey au Québec. I'll let l'OQLF and la Société de Transport find the right compromise.
I laughed when I first heard that. That is the best dodge I've heard in a long time. When he said, I'm proud of, I wasn't sure where he was going to go. And then he started rattling off Quebec players, on the Canadiens and on the Capitals. So I guess we're not going to, maybe we will, maybe we won't. But I was saying when I asked our listeners, I was saying, I hope the Premier at least can stand up and say, okay, as you just did, you know what? Ça suffit. We got other things to worry about. Let's just leave it as Go Habs Go. It's been that way for 100 years in this province.
No, exactly. And, it's like I said, sports, hockey unite us. And this is one of those things that comes out. And I'm sorry, but the CAQ has to take some responsibility. When there was Pastagate, we had the PQ in power. And we know that the direction for these organizations and how severe they want to go after agencies, companies, whatever it may be, they take direction from their minister and from the tone of their government. So in a way, too, these events happen because that's exactly the language that is coming from the ministers and the leaders in Quebec City. And then we fall into something. Let's be honest. Go Habs Go. I'll say that it's an expression québécoise. Everybody, French or English, says it. We know what it means. It's how we rally around our team. There's plenty of French at the Bell Centre. There's plenty of songs in French about the Montreal Canadiens and in English. And it's great. It unites us all. It's something that we can talk around the water coolers together in all languages. People love their Habs. And again, this is such a damper. And what's at least been encouraging, Aaron, is that if you look on social media, you look in the media, you look at people talking about this, and you'll find tons of francophones who just say, c'est ridicule. And there are other things we can be focusing in on. And, as an elected person, I'll go and say it. I tabled a bill making, I want every Quebecer to have access to free French language courses if they're living in Quebec. And we can continue to promote French in those positive ways. I would like to see in our schools having trained teachers in all the classrooms and making sure people graduate from high school, speaking and writing French properly. Those are the things that will protect and promote our French language. But it comes back to these things that everyone just smacks their forehead and says, this is what our tax dollars are paying for. When there's other things that need to be addressed in our society right now.
I realize it's kind of impossible to talk about, changing anything or how the OQLF acts. But again, the thing that really bothers me in this story is if we have the accurate story, it's that an anonymous complaint. 1, put everything here into motion. And I said, maybe it's time we change the way the OQLF operates with respect to, if 100 people or 500 people out of a population of over 8 million have an issue with something, great, let's look into it. If one person, for whatever reason, decides he or she is having a bad day and decides to go ahead and do this, maybe those are the things we should consider, ignoring.
Yeah, and, maybe that's at some point to be looked in, but you know what? I would actually like other ministries to have the same energy as the office, because when I get a citizen who comes to my office, Aaron, and complains about something that happened in the healthcare system, and I contact our CS, they always say, well, file a complaint. Well, no, we go with them, we accompany them, we file the complaint, and they never hear back from the healthcare system. They never hear back from the CS. It takes a year and a half, or maybe, like I said, never. I would like to see other ministries act as quickly as the office does, that when there's a problem, when there's a complaint, somebody answers, follows up pretty quickly. So I'm also a bit frustrated when I look at that, saying, why does the office get to seem to react so quickly, move so quickly to make people follow the law? But then if you go to any other ministry, it takes forever for citizens to get their justice, so to speak, when they have a problem with the government. So it's something that just kind of makes you scratch your head again. And again, like you said, is it about the anonymous complaints or just the system in general? It's just always amazing how quickly they're able to act. But every other agency of government seems to not be able to act so quickly. It's a bit frustrating.
A fair point. I will tell you, by the way, we found out earlier, Kelley Gregg from CTV let us know that Eric Allen Caldwell, who's, of course, the chair of the STM, he found out about this morning, reading it in the paper.
So again, and there you go. And look, the STM's they're just doing what they're being told to do, right? Like it's not their fault. And again, I don't even know if this applies to all the different transport agencies around the island of Montreal. I don't know what it is on the South Shore, but nonetheless, it's a positive message. Go Habs Go. I have nothing against LA Canadien LA, but we all know it's Go Habs Go. It's like that's the expression. So let's just leave it at that. Let's move on to other things, because we have a government that has a historic debt. We just got downgraded in our credit. We have the Rosemont Maisonneuve Hospital that is in terrible shape. You go down the list, Aaron. There are so many other things which we are talking about at the National Assembly, but we need to focus in on as a society and not have these types of distractions. But again, that's just where we are at this moment and point in time with this current government.
Couldn't agree more. Greg Kelley, thanks so much.
No problem.
Take good care.
Talk soon. Go Habs Go.